Welcome to today's Wednesday live stream where I talk about voice, music, artist development, and music business for independent artists, really turning up the conversation on how to build a creative life in music that you love. There's never been a more exciting time to actually do that than today. As you're coming on the call today, let me know where you're tuning in from, what part of the world. I love to see how global we are. Today I'm talking about the 5 ways, wrong title. The 5 key phases of artist development to really build a strong music career. And there's more detail than I can go into in the live stream. Remember, the Wednesday live stream is always backed up by what's on the blog. So I write the topic of the month, topic of the week, and then come on live stream to go through the points with you and answer questions. So there'll be questions at the end. So gather your questions for when I open it up to you guys. Quick announcement. We do have a Valentine's Day sale going on, and we're really promoting the idea of taking action with your artist self and really loving your artist self through real intentional action. And that looks like investing in your craft by giving yourself the tools to grow and igniting your passion to continue sharing your music, right? So you want to take care of your inner artist and take care of you. And there's no investment more important than in learning and growing, because as we're learning with the trends in a crowded marketplace, the thing that really helps you to stand out is the extraordinary music that you create. You want to be so good that they can't ignore you, become the best singer, the best songwriter, the best performer that you possibly can, and spare no expense or investment or time investment, not just money, in the pursuit of your dream. People love great music. Those that succeed all have that one feature of being an extraordinary musician, singer, songwriter, one of those or a combination of those. So that's numero uno, and we're giving you 30% off, up to 30% off on our store, on our private services. It's really quite a sale. So if you've been looking to get a review of your music, doing a private with me, getting a review of your voice, getting our Step Up to the Spotlight program, which is our 6-module program on artist development that really goes with this topic today. I've laid out a 6-module series that covers all the aspects of artist development. It's only $79 right now through the end of day on Monday. So if that's speaking to you, don't hesitate to go over and grab that, or get a copy of my Singer's Gift Vocal Rescue Kit if you need help with your vocal health, or you need help with building a strong, resilient vocal instrument. Get the Singer's Gift or grab an ebook. So for those of you who are really looking for some extra guidance from someone who's been in the business for for 4 decades now, go over and head over to our shop and you'll see the entire sale laid out there. So let's dive in. My 5 key phases of artist development to build a strong music career. So I'm going to roll through the phases really quick. I'm actually building this out to a fuller phased system that I'm going to be laying out, unrolling in my artist sanctuary, because right now you come into the sanctuary and you get the topic that we're currently working on that month. What I'm doing is laying out a full system of artist development in a G sheet for you guys, and all of the steps that need to be taken kind of in what order. And I start that conversation in Step Up to the Spotlight. I have a full step-by-steps or steps to stardom blueprint that you can follow and look at. And inside Step Up, there's also that 52-week artist development program inside the 6-week. Okay, so phase 1 is artistic development, honing the artistic development, preparations for the making of a star, a making of an artist who is really calling attention because of the superior nature, the extraordinary nature of their artistic talent and musical skills, right? So as I said in the beginning, you want to really, the number one foundation. And when this foundation And it's okay to develop. Like, you don't have to, start out putting your music out and being the, all amazing everything. You don't want to paralyze yourself with not putting your music out because it's not on the level that you really want it to be on yet. However, you always want to be raising the bar towards that level of exceptional talent, because it's required, right? And you'll find, you put out an album, put out a couple singles, whatever it is, and it's your first attempt. And most people on their first attempt don't go viral or don't hit, this viral spot with the public. You have to build your audience, all of those pieces. But the work might not be exceptional unless you work with like a label like us, where we really develop and build the artistic talent. But sometimes even still, it takes an album or two to really, the first album is really you trying to figure out your artistry and do, write the best songs you can and figure out the sound and direction and become the best singer that you can for that moment. But you're going to get better as you go. And when you work with us, we give you the tools and the skills to get you there faster and get you there more on track, develop with development tools, right? So that you're realizing that piece. Because when you go out to market, if the music, there's 100,000 songs being released on Spotify every day. So how are you going to get noticed or recognized by the exceptional nature of your voice, of your songs, of your music production? And that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of dedication. It takes the ability to take risks and experiment. There's a lot that goes into this phase. So a lot of people think, yeah, I have a good enough voice to do this, but they don't really work on their voice. Or, they're a good enough songwriter or a good enough guitar player, but they don't really dive in and dig in. Think of someone like Prince. Did he stop at a year of guitar lessons? No. Did he, look at his brand, look at his musicianship, his skills not everybody's going to be Prince. But if you're just analyzing and looking at the level of quality, this is how you stand out. So that first phase is extremely important. And every time we do a new record, we up the level of that first phase. Okay. So this is vocal technique training. We always start there to build the instrument to its fullest potential. Singers start as early as 7 years old. I was just actually looking at Haley Fishberger last night, who was my youngest vocal student. She had so much talent. It was raw talent. She hadn't been trained at all. But I took her at 7, and she had a real interest in technique, because at that age, a lot of people, a lot of young, preteen don't have the concentration level, but she did. And I was listening to her the other night, and I was just like, wow, look at that. Look at what she developed. And we started writing songs, I think, as early as like 9, something like that. And then she went on to Miami U's music program, and now she's in LA doing her thing. But nobody just pops out like sounding amazing, right? It takes a lot of work of honing the artistic talent, and that vocal technique training is critical. So if you guys aren't doing that, you're doing yourself a disservice, because the raw talent of the voice is there. But in order to really stand on that Grammy stage or stand on that big stage and be able to command attention, be able to command recognition, and excellence in vocal artistry, you really need to know what you're doing. The next piece of that is song repertoire development, to build out a catalog of cover songs that suits the artist's voice. And very often you'll see a lot of artists, like I was looking at Jack Cross the other day, like he's really built his catalog with cover songs. And he's not a startup artist by any means, but he loves singing covers. And Teddy Swims did that, and so many artists. Don't be afraid to do that. I like to get going with it early. because it also helps to explore different genres. It helps to develop the singer's musicality, as well as give a good sense of the right direction for that singer by exploring, different genres and even blending genres a bit. And it's a great way to build a catalog of cover songs for performance and for video on YouTube as the singer is developing. I was looking at Angelina Jordan. If you haven't heard her, go check out her YouTube. She started, I think, at 6 or 7. She had this sort of extraordinary Billie Holiday kind of voice, and she started performing with orchestras that young, and was kind of a sensation and really built her career on covers. I can't remember what her latest career development is, but she's probably headed for Vegas for like a residency or something like that. Musicianship training is part of that first phase also. Music theory is a really important part of learning the language of music. Who knows music theory? Just give me a high five or a thumbs up. Basic music theory knowledge really empowers the singer early on in reading sheet music, as well as knowing how chords are built, which develops that knowledge for songwriting development as well as overall musicianship. And hey, don't worry if you've got missing pieces. You just go back and fill them in, right? I remember when I was 19 and I just moved to New York, and I was, I had been trained by my mother, who was a classical pianist. And so she taught me how to read music, but I only read in treble clef, and, I played classical guitar. And so, when I started to get serious about my career, I realized, I really need to go to music school. So I went, I really need to fill in because there were a lot of holes in my knowledge, right? An instrument's really important. Who plays piano or guitar instrument? This is really important to be able to accompany oneself, and also for songwriting. And then ear training is a vital part of developing the singer's ear and the musicality, and interval training and sight reading, as well as improvisational ability to really help evolve the singer's vocal skills. But technique is often missing. And if you haven't done our technique, the Cole vocal method is one of the most superior methods out there on the marketplace in terms of the physicality, the biomechanics of really building your instrument. So if you haven't done that kind of core work, there's so much waiting for you. And then performance development and technique and development, open mics, songwriter nights, local shows, like all of those things. And those are things that you're constantly working on. Even if you've done those, doesn't mean, you just, check that box. You need to continue doing that as you're building, right? You want to be able to go to a songwriter night and stand out as a singer and as a songwriter, right? Phase 2 is A&R. So A&R stands for artist and repertoire, the development of the sound, the themes, the message, the wild card. We get deep into this process in our signature songwriting circle, or you can sign up. You can book a A&R session with me, and we go through the A&R profile with you and build an A&R profile that helps you figure out your sound. It's a great thing to do when you're getting ready to do a new record. But this phase is really important because building out the sound and direction, when this is done well, it's a process that identifies and refines the artist's aesthetic and taste in music, as well as pulls from the themes in their lives to build sound and direction. Now, in the record business, back in the day, A&R, was the department at the record label. Not now, it's just the talent manager, the talent rep. But it used to be, in the days of Motown, really developing those artists, and they would pull out what was unique about that artist. Today, it's more like slapping a brand or an idea on top of that artist. Katy Perry is a good example. When she got signed to her final deal, or her deal that made her famous, the song they had was "I Kissed a Girl and I Liked It," and the deal was either this or Our Way or The Highway. And she took it. She had been signed and dropped 3 times, and I think was getting a little desperate in her career because she really didn't give herself a plan B, and took the deal. And it made her famous, but it wasn't really the heart of who she is as an artist. So it's really important to do that work now so that you can have more control over your direction. Pink is a good example of that. She really took control of her direction. It's not easy to do, and so this process helps you to really nail that from the beginning. We do a lot of exploration. We ask a lot of questions. We really want to get inside your head for everything that you like. And a lot of artists have a wide listening palette, which is important to have actually. But then learning how to pull which pieces into the sound is the art of real A&R. A&R stands for artist and repertoire, matching the artist to the repertoire. You can experience this A&R process in my signature songwriting circle. We haven't announced the date yet, but I think it'll be in July. And then you can also do private A&R with me. And we do have that 30% going on right now through Monday. Phase 3 is branding. So creating the artist's visual story, the image and the branding is extraordinary, right? It's really, really, really important. Some people in the industry say that branding is 80% of the success of that act. Whether or not that is statistically accurate, it makes the point that it's plays a vital role in the success of that artist. Think of Prince without his sequined suits and his high heels and his guitar with the onyx symbol or whatever that was. It wasn't I can't remember what it was. That symbol, the circle with the arrow. Imagine him without all of those things, right? So branding is what helps an artist stand out from other artists in their genre and helps convey the personality and the spirit of the brand with more effectiveness. Very often, your image is the thing that people first see before they even hear your music, right? So we want that image to really match, look like the artist sounds. We want that image to look like the artist sounds and more. In my Step Up to the Spotlight in module 3, we go deep into the 22 essential elements of a magnetic music brand, and you start by researching other brands, collect images of websites you like, pick your color palette, and build an image that looks like the music sound. And this is where you can experiment at first, but you really need to work with a professional team. We do a lot of branding at our label services and within our company and have really good referrals for you guys. Often during this phase, often during this phase, the artist can feel frustrated because we have these ideas in our head and it's very hard to actualize it. We do a lot of work within the archetypes, the 12 brand archetypes. We have the artist take that test and we work a lot on developing the actual message and mission of that individual and then build the music around that and build the brand around that. If the music's already done, we build the brand around that. That's a really good starting point. We go through that in my Artist Sanctuary membership quite a bit. I think it was in August, we had our big artist archetype mastermind. When you sign up, you get access to all the past masterminds. But that's tricky to do well, right? Phase 4 is test marketing. And this is really important. Like often, during this phase here, so you're taking your project to the streets, you're putting out your music, you're getting feedback, you're performing, you're building your live audience, if that's the trajectory that you're on. And often during this phase, the artist starts performing and putting out music, and test marketing takes place if you're working with a company. How well will that song do? The artist is really evaluated by the metrics and success of the project and engaging with fans. And this phase is about really building the right marketing strategy to reach the right audience and everything. But it's also, do we have the right music? Do we need to elevate that music? Do we need to take that to another level? So before we put the record out, we have the artist write 2 to 3 times what they need. And then we vote on the songs and pick the cherries. And that way, we just did it with an artist, Uju, who's just putting out her album, Incredible, and really got deep into the project in terms of who she is. She's an Aquarius. We really focused on that. She's an independent thinker. And we came up with this whole idea of the sovereign witch. And those aspects are really important, but we did test marketing before we decided on the songs. So we took all the songs and then we have a small select group of people vote on the songs so you can see what songs are really peeking through. And it's not a perfect science. You still never completely know, but it gives you informed information to really decide what songs to put on your albums. You're not like making those decisions in a vacuum without real information. You can still decide whatever you want to do, but that information, it's like, oh, I didn't know, like everybody likes that song. I didn't anticipate that. I thought it would be this song. I did this with my album as well. I think this is a really important piece. And this is something that big artists do. Coldplay did this in the making of X, Y, and Z. When they were making that record, they did some test marketing. They had their mixes, their rough mixes. They had, written the record, recorded up to their, current mixes, and then they shared them with key players. I know Adele does that with Rick Rubin and key people in the industry, because it's impossible. You're so close to it. It's impossible to really be objective, right? Make objective decisions. And they took it to their, key people to listen. And the information they got back was that they didn't have the record that they need. And you have to understand, for big stars, there's so much riding on the line of the success of that album. And it's the same for you, actually, because you're putting, relatively speaking, it's the same. You're investing a lot of money in it that you probably don't have. And, it's very important to be able to make the right decisions and investing in the right songs. At the end of the day, superior songs are proven in the marketplace to supersede other songs. And so, it all comes down really to the song. I remember Linda Perry saying something like, when an artist comes to the studio, we just pray that they have good enough songs, because the production isn't going to fix what's not potent in a song. It can help, but it's not going to fix the core of the song. That's why we have you write 2 to 3 times what you need, so we can pick the cherries, the top songs, right? It's serious business when you're, I think initially when you're putting music out, it's fun and it's a challenge and you're just trying to prove to yourself that you can do it. But very quickly it gets very real, because it's an expensive hobby, and you want to be successful with it. So these are some of the ways that help to improve the outcome and the success of that. And in phase 4 is really, also about strategy, building the career based on where the artist really wants to go. And this phase is when management plays a big role in developing the artist's careers, managers, consultants, really developing the artist's career from the bones to getting them exposure, as well as setting them up in business to collect all their revenue streams. It's a critical phase in the career, because it is to make that leap from unknown to somewhat known, or from no money coming in to money coming in, is extremely important. If that's where you are, we recommend Emily White's book, How to Build a Sustainable Music Career and Collect All Revenue Streams. Extremely important piece. The last phase, and then I'll open it up for questions, is phase 5. Phase 5 is career development and management, and securing the success of the artist in the marketplace. So if you make it to this phase, you have either built your own team, like James Blake, who just did a recent post about that, how he did it. He left the major labels and is going it on his own, which a lot of artists are doing now. So you're either building your own team or you're signed to a label. And this phase is about securing the longevity of the artist's career. So traditionally, revenue is built from touring and merchandise, but today artists have other opportunities to build revenue with sync and licensing and brand collaborations and developing other product lines or projects like books or artwork or public speaking. There's a lot of opportunities. Some artists do kids music, spa music, some write books, some do public speaking. There's a lot of different opportunities, right? And so that, phase 4 and phase 5, you really want to be working with people in the industry to be able to move that needle for yourself and know what comes next. I think a lot of it is knowing the right steps in the right order and what you might be missing. So if you want a music review or a review of your voice, head on over and grab that 30-minute review. You fill out a form. I come to that call having looked at everything with all my ideas. So, if you're looking for real feedback on what you're missing or what your next steps are, don't hesitate. Let's go to some questions. And just one more time, I want to let you know that this conversation helps you and gets you started, but that's only the beginning. My Step Up to the Spotlight Artist Development Program will take you step by step through the artist development process to build your artistry and career. And this is the same process I've used to help my clients win Grammys, get featured in Rolling Stone, secure major licensing deals, get signed to management labels, and live the dream. So what would it feel like to really step into that? Grab a seat in my Step Up program and find out how. Any questions? I see your comment over there, Jessica. That is so freaking cool. I love that. The warm-up you gave for free in 2020 changed the game for me. Thank you. Yes, when 2020 hit, when the pandemic hit, we gave Step Up away for free. And right now it's almost free. It's $79 for literally 6 full modules with I don't even know, there's 75 worksheets and an artist development plan inside that. It is jam-packed. So it does not disappoint. Thank you, Megan. Oh my gosh, so good to see you here. You are living proof of the work that we do. Extraordinary artist and beautiful album that she has out. So let me take some questions. Anybody have any questions, any comments, here's where I am, what do I do? Or Carrie, what do you think about this? If you want to hear me riff on something, talk more on something, go ahead and put it in the comments. We've got another 5 minutes or so. Remember to join me every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern for my weekly live stream. And join me on YouTube. You can join on YouTube or Instagram. I also do Facebook. And you can catch all of these live streams. So if you joined late, you can go over to YouTube. They are live streamed over there as well. So you can watch all the back live streams as well. Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Sounds like not so many questions maybe, or maybe people are typing. Well, it's never been a more exciting time to be an artist than today, but it's also never been more crowded in the marketplace. So we find that releasing superior music in the marketplace, and what was it on my blog last week? I think it was the blog last week. Let me actually just go over there. Or was it one of my Instagram posts? I can't remember. Where I was really dialing out, or was it in the blog this week? I don't know. I've written so many blogs. Oh my God. Yes, it does. Our programs do have a community. You're asking me if we have a community. Yes, we have in our Artist Sanctuary membership, we have a community of global artists in all of our programs. So we have Step Up to the Spotlight is an automated evergreen. So that it does have a forum, but that has a little less activity. The Vocal Freedom Circle. So if you take the Vocal Freedom Circle where you learn my co-vocal method, we have monthly calls for free that come with that. There's a beautiful community there. In my Artist Sanctuary membership, we have a global community all over the world, from people from India, people from Europe, people from Asia, people from all over the United States, Canada, Australia. Yeah, it's quite robust. Okay, there's a question over here on Instagram. Garrison says, do you have thoughts on marketing a debut album in an efficient way when you're the one doing the marketing? Yes, I do have a lot of thoughts about that. We actually have, I have a full record release spreadsheet that's comes with the Artist Sanctuary membership. And it is extremely detailed. And what we did was we basically downloaded everybody's release plans, from Ari's take to everybody. We got everybody. And then I did a brain dump of mine, and then I added in key things from everybody else to really create a giant master list, and kind of in order, even as far back as 6 months prior. And so what I recommend is, you get that when you sign up for Artist Sanctuary membership, which right now I think you can join for $29 for the month. And then it goes to $49. but it comes with 3 live events with me. It's quite robust. But I recommend that you pull the key pieces from release that you're able to do, because you can't do everything when you have a small team or a team of 1. I do recommend, though, Garrison, that you do hire somebody to help you, especially with an album versus singles, because it's going to stretch out over a longer period of time, and you want to at least spend 3 months in planning the content and designing a strategy. Feel free to have an artist development session with me, or a strategy session with me, and I can lay out the trajectory for you, and I can give you that same spreadsheet. Just remind me that I said that. Yeah, you get 30% off right now, so I would recommend that, because you need some direction. Oh, thank you. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, David. Yes. How do I decide which program would be best for me? Tell me where you are, Jessica. Like, where are you at? Are you just putting music out? Do you have music out in the marketplace? Are you just putting music out? Are you just putting your music together? Kind of where are you? And I can direct you. Maybe I'm the first Pakistani producer who's looking for huge success, and your lead is helping me a lot. Oh, good. I'm glad. Yeah, they're actually not Chanel, but I do love them. Thank you, John. Yeah, so anybody else? I'm going to head out shortly. I'll wait for Jessica's response there. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. And head on over to the blog where this is written out in quite detail. Yes. Yes, we're actually working on a new subscriber series that kind of introduces you to the company and all the aspects, because I have my programs and products and services with Carrico Voice and Music, and then I have my boutique small artist label services, and then how that works. So we're laying out a new subscriber series. If you're not signed up to Carrico.com, head on over there and you'll get our notifications of you got our weekly blog and e-zine and notifications. I have 4 singles out. I'm working on better quality to get into sync, and I also just got my first paid video for a brand. I live in Canada, remote Canada. Oh, cool. What is your goal? Is your goal to be a touring performing artist, or is it to stay local and just perform local and do sync? Do you have a preference? What is your bigger, like, if you could have what you really want, what is it? And then that information can help me. I don't know what you mean, Solace Beats. What song you loved last time? I don't know what you mean. You're welcome, Garrison. Yeah, it sounds like maybe, Jessica, I'm sure you're typing an answer, but since we're a little pressed for time, I'd have to hear something, like, to see what is, if you want to put your link to your website, I'll go over there and listen. And then if you can circle back to this live video on YouTube and just ping me and remind me, and I'll give you some comments. My goal is mainly to be a recording artist with a small cult following and eventually do live stream performances. Yeah, so it sounds like maybe you need to work on your artistry and your performance, because you're saying eventually do live streams, and so you don't feel ready to do that right now. Yeah, it'd be good to hear the music and kind of see where you're at vocally and songwriting wise, and if the music is really matching you as an artist, if there's a theme and a message and that kind of thing. So if you're really ready to dive in on a higher level, then I would just do the music review, and you send in your 4 singles and I'll listen in great detail, to comment on YouTube, and come back and comment on this video, and then I'll just give you a few tips. But if you really want like the deeper analysis, I would sign up for that music review, and we can really go through it and really carve a plan. Just put it in the chat right now. That'd be great. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining me today, and go over to carriecole.com and sign up to get more tips. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on YouTube. That's where we're mostly, and we're on Facebook as well. But and join the list so you can be a part of the conversation on a deeper level. Jessica, just waiting for your link. All right, wonderful. I'm going to end Instagram over here, and I'm going to wait for Jessica's link on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next Wednesday at 2 p.m., 12 p.m. Eastern. Check out the Valentine's Day special. Give yourself some artist love. Take some action on yourself, okay? No, being a vocal coach, what kind of music you love? I love all music. Okay, I probably don't listen to heavy metal anymore, but I love all music. I love pop, I love folk, I love Americana, I love jazz, I love R&B, I love hip hop, I love everything. Country. I listen to all genres. I am a big music lover. I listen to classical, I listen to instrumental music quite a bit while I'm writing. So I love all music. There really isn't, like I said, I probably don't listen to heavy metal because I want to relax when I'm listening to music, right? But I love all music. Jessica, are you going to put that link in there? Or maybe you come back and put it on the video. So come back and put it on the video and I'll go check it out. Thank you for joining me, everybody, today. I'll see you next week. Bye.